Thank you for listening today on Revealing Wholeness, sponsored by Infinity Whole Health. Check out our website at infinityWholeHealth.com, where we are revealing the eternal in each individual, the infinite in the individual. The creativity is made manifest. Limitation is let go. Now, here's your host, Dr. Troy Munson.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson. Today we're going to be speaking on synthetic vitamins and natural whole food supplements and allergies, because this is something that I do come across not uncommonly. I'll have clients where they've done an allergy test and I'll give them a whole food supplement and they'll come back and say, I tested positive for allergies by some of the products in here. And while I do appreciate that, I tell them that oftentimes we test positive for an allergy because our system is so keyed up, because it is a bit of a wreck, meaning it has a lot of inflammation, a lot of debris in it, a lot of toxins, a lot of garbage that our body isn't getting rid of. And so you can test positive for natural foods at one point in your life and clean up your body and really clean out a lot of crap and debris. And all of a sudden you don't have an allergy to those foods any longer. That is a common thing that I will find in my clients when I'm working with them with whole food supplements. So we want to be cautious to a point, but we don't want to be crazy ridiculous to not allow whole foods to really minister to our body, so to speak, and give to our body all the necessary nutrients that it needs to literally begin that process of cleaning and fixing things. So even though you have food allergies, I would really scrutinize any company that says a whole food supplement. And please check out some of my earlier podcasts when I've done some talks or some podcasts on synthetic whole food supplements. I know it's kind of a weird phraseology, but literally I've gone to these products, or I've gone to stores and I'm looking through supplements and all of a sudden it says whole food supplement. I'm like, what? And so of course I want to pick it up because I want to read about it. And I look at it and I look at it thinking, why are your amounts of vitamin C or ascorbic acid or B1 or B5 or B12 like in exact 100% daily allowances? I don't know any food that has exactly 100% daily allowance of any vitamin or nutrient that we need. And so I got curious because I'm like, this is really unusual to see all these at 100%, and this is a whole food supplement. I'm going to call bogus on this. And so as I began to do my research, I realized that what they were doing is they were taking blue-green algae, as I've explained in the past, and sprayed synthetic vitamins on it. And after a certain period of time, the law says, or the legal ramifications say, that you can now call it a whole food supplement and harvest those blue-green algae with those synthetic vitamins on it. And now you get to have this wonderful designation as a whole food supplement. And people feel great taking it for a little while. So these are the kinds of things that are out there, unfortunately. And I apologize that our system is the way it is, or at least people are dishonest the way they are. And companies are dishonest the way they are. And if they can get around something and make a buck, it seems like they will. And I don't know why. Well, I have suspicions why they do it. And we'll talk about that in successive podcasts. But at this point, we're just going to take it as it is what it is. So when we're looking at a whole food supplement, we want to do something that is completely natural. We would prefer organic if we could, but sometimes when we have to feed the planet, we just don't have enough food to go around. So some of the products that I use don't have an organic designation, but I know the growers and I know how they process and I know what they do and I know the demands of what they are. I've been to their farms and you can visit their farms. And so I've talked with their growers. So I know what I'm getting and I know how they dry their product, and I know how they do it under 70 degrees. So those are things that I feel very comfortable with in using the products that I use. If you have products that you have done the research and done the due diligence to check them out and find out what is their culture, what are their belief systems, how do they operate, what drives them, why do they even stay in business? Those are the things that would let us know how reputable, how honoring, how integrous are these particular companies that we deal with when it comes to whole food supplements and synthetic supplements. Now, again, there are great companies out there that do synthetic vitamins, and they do have their own purpose. I just don't necessarily see them as my choice of what I want to use. And I have talked in past podcasts about those companies. I really don't like throwing names or throwing mud on people and their companies. But I mean, I have companies that literally market to me as a healthcare provider and say we have the best state-of-the-art machinery to make our vitamins. I'm thinking, well, good for you, but I'm not into synthetics. Thank you, though. And I have some practitioners that I know that they like synthetics because their clients won't be allergic to them when they're really sick. And I have to at least applaud them for having a reason why they're using synthetics. And I would say it's okay, but eventually they're going to need to feed them because there's thousands of phytonutrients around every vitamin, it seems like, that are very important to use those vitamins as our body sees fit. And it won't hold on to those vitamins if they don't have those phytonutrients. So as long as you get a client that has a really spectacularly clean diet and a rich food source diet, okay, you could probably get away with doing some synthetics and you should be able to get some good results. But part of it, we just got to admit, is coming from the really great diet. And so great, but let's again, once they start really getting a grasp on their health, let's begin to switch to maybe some food, some really high octane food or food supplements that would even help them go further faster. So that's my take on natural versus synthetic. And again, we could talk at length for hours about this, and there are different subtleties and nuances about all of it. And again, I mean, people will bring up to me all the time, what about iodine? Yes, there are people that are sensitive to iodine. And their sensitivities, as I've talked in the past on some of my iodine podcasts, is that it's oftentimes the proteins around the iodine that's the problem. And it's often what the iodine is pushing out of the body that's problematic. And so every time you take a nutrient, it will have its way with your body. And it's going to either help things enter in, it's going to increase absorption, it's going to increase detoxification commonly. And so when you start putting some stuff in your body that's really strengthening you, your body might say, fabulous, it's time to detoxify these heavy metals that have been plaguing me forever. And when you do something significant, like getting rid of some really nasty chemicals, you might not feel so well doing that. And that's okay in the beginning. Please check out one of my podcasts called Herxheimer Reactions, and it'll explain those reactions when somebody takes something that they know that they should, but they feel crappy afterwards. And we might call that a cleanse effect, but we would like to work a little bit differently next time so that we can mitigate a lot of those symptoms. You shouldn't have to go through any harsh Herxheimer reactions if your body is able to detoxify and change things well. So just some FYIs and some clinical pearls in there for you, the listener. So I hope that was helpful. Until next time, I'm Dr. Troy Munson.
This information is for educational purposes only, and does not constitute medical advice, nor establish any kind of patient-client relationship, is not a substitute for any type of professional advice. Always consult a professional in your area for your particular medical needs.